Welcome to part 6 of the Zelda Series review. Today, we will be looking at the 3 games in the Wind Waker Trilogy. This trilogy includes the Wind Waker itself, as well as the 2 DS games, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Potential story spoilers ahead. If you want to avoid them, please click off the video right now, or at least skip the sections where I talk about the plot. The Wind Waker Trilogy, like the Four Swords Trilogy, are connected in terms of story. However, unlike the Four Swords games, the gameplay is similar in all 3, even with 2 of them having a unique control style, and a chronological order for them is the same as the release order. The Wind Waker was the series' first entry on the GameCube and was released in Japan in 2002, followed by a US release in 2003. The game took a drastically different graphical turn from its predecessors, something which caused a lot of backlash at launch, especially after the Space World tech demo, despite graphics being probably the least or among the least important aspects of most games. It was the first game in the series to feature a new Link and not be a prequel to a previous entry. Rather, it is a sequel to Ocarina of Time. Now, this is hands down my favorite game in the Zelda series, and marks to me the pinnacle of the series. It just has a special charm and quality that none of the others match, though a few do come close. That may be because it is so different from most of the other Zeldas, even though it shares a similar blueprint. Instead of taking place in Hyrule, it takes place in a world where Hyrule is a relic of the ancient past. Seeing the land we came to know and love from the other games in the state it is in this game is almost heartbreaking to see, but it fits with the game's narrative of letting go of the past and moving forward. The Wind Waker is also home to one of the largest Zelda worlds, but most of it is made up of water. That means there is a lot of sailing to do. Now, a lot of people seem to have issues with how long the sailing takes, but I personally never did. Sure, it's long, but it's also relaxing, especially at night with some of the constellations, some of which are based on real ones. The art style of the game is also unique to it and fits with its cheerful nature. The plot of the game starts centuries after the end of Ocarina of Time, or rather the part in the ending where Ganon was defeated, and even references the events of Ocarina of Time in the opening and other parts throughout the game. Now, Ganon escaped from the Seal of Sages at some point in the past, and since there was no hero, the ancient kingdom of Hyrule supposedly vanished. Centuries later, on the island of Outset in the Great Sea, Link is sleeping on a lookout tower and is woken up by his sister, Errol, since it's his birthday. He goes to his home where his grandmother gives him the hero's clothes, a tradition passed down from the age of the hero time. Link returns to the lookout where Errol gives him her telescope. He then spots a giant bird known as the Helm Rock King, who captures a pirate captain named Tetra. Link gets a sword and goes to rescue her, but the bird kidnaps Link's sister after he does so. It appears that he had been capturing women with long ears and took them to his Forsaken Fortress. Now, if you know what long ears mean to Zelda, you can probably guess why. So Link hitches a ride with the pirates and sneaks into the fortress. After a failed rescue attempt, the bird tosses him into the sea and leaves him for dead when he is rescued by a talking sailboat known as the King of the Red Lions. He tells him that the one in control of the fortress is Ganon, and that Link must go through several trials to defeat him. After getting a sail, Link goes to Dragon Roost Island and is given a magical baton that gives him the ability to do many things, like controlling the wind, hence why it's called the Wind Waker. After meeting the Rito people, the evolved form of Zoras on the island, including individuals like Medley and Prince Comely, Link goes to Dragon Roost Cavern to see what is troubling its guardian, Baloo. After defeating a monster pulling his tail, he is given Din's Pearl, and the King of Red Lions tells him to go find the other 2. He goes to the Forest Haven and meets his guardian, the Great Tree, along with the Koroks, the evolved versions of the Kokiri. He then has to go to the Forbidden Woods and rescue a Korok named Makar, receiving Ferrari's Pearl. After running with the pirates and taking some bombs during an endless night, Link gets into the residence of the Spirit Jaboon and receives Nehru's Pearl. After placing the 3 pearls on the Triangle Islands, and a funny scene where Link is thrown through the air, it is time to tackle the Tower of the Gods. After going through it and defeating the Guardian, Godan, this game's resident Bongo Bongo wannabe, he goes beneath the sea where the ancient kingdom of Hyrule is buried, frozen in time. It is here that Link finds the Master Sword and awakens Hyrule. After returning to the surface, he goes back to the Forsaken Fortress and defeats the Helm Rock King, and then the pirates rescue his sister and 2 other captives. He then confronts Ganon along with Tetra, only to learn that the Master Sword has lost its power and cannot stop him. After a narrow save by Rito, followed by a torturing by Baloo, Link and Tetra are taken to the Tower of the Gods and back to Hyrule. Here, they learn that Tetra is of Hyrule's royal line and has the piece of the Triforce of Wisdom. Also, it is revealed that the voice of the King of Lions is none other than King Daphnes, an ancient king of Hyrule. Tetra remains in the Master Sword Chamber as Link returns to the surface. The king suspects that Ganon had murdered the sages who upheld the Master Sword's power, which is confirmed when they go to the temple and awaken two new sages, Medley and Makar. With the Master Sword restored, Link collects the pieces of Triforce of Courage and returns to Hyrule. The king uses the Triforce to destroy the ruins of Hyrule, now knowing that the world cannot move forward as long as Hyrule exists. This enrages the now mortal Ganon and he fights against Link and Tetra, where Link finally succeeds in killing him. Link and Tetra are taken out of Hyrule as the king remains behind, seemingly dying with his kingdom, providing he is even alive in this game to begin with. They are picked up by the pirates, who also got Medley and Makar, and Link and the pirates sail away to find new lands. Phantom Hourglass is a direct sequel to the Wind Waker that was released in 2007 on the DS, and is also a last yearly Zelda. Now, I've noticed lately that a lot of people have been saying that Nintendo can't get a Zelda game out every year, but the funny thing is, there was a time when that was the case, at least in the US, and that time was between 2000 and 2007, starting from Majora's Mask and ending with Phantom Hourglass. Since then, Nintendo has released new Zelda games every other year, which seems to be actually working better for them. Anyway, Phantom Hourglass utilizes many of the DS's features, such as the touchscreen for movement, and even uses the microphone in a few areas. But those parts are especially annoying if you're playing them on 3DS, since its microphone is on the bottom of the unit. That might not have been the best place for Nintendo. Oh well, it's still fun to use it to blow up the candles and defeat Pole's voices. The touch controls work really nicely, especially when you're out on the sea and use it to plot the course. Just make sure to be on the lookout when you're at sea. There are a lot of enemies to deal with. Phantom Hourglass has one area of extreme annoyance among Zelda fans, and gamers in general, in the form of the Temple of the Ocean King. You must visit this place several times during the adventure, advancing farther and farther depending on the items you have at that point and how much sand is in the Phantom Hourglass. That is fine and a really cool idea, but you have to go through all the previous sections to get to the section you haven't gotten to yet. While this is kind of fun to see how different items can make the trip faster, repeating the dungeon over and over again is really annoying. It has been for almost a decade now. And don't even get me started on the Phantoms. This game has a few other flaws besides that, such as the ending. I'm not going to say too much yet since I'm going to be saving that for the story section, but I'll just say that this is trying to be Link's Awakening, only not nearly as good. But one good thing the game did was give a name to the type of battle that is seen in many of the Zelda games, namely the ones where you deflect an enemy's projectiles back at them. About halfway through the game, you run into a boss battle that calls this Dead Man's Volley. The game takes place at some point not long after the Wind Waker, maybe a year or so later, as Link and the pirates are sailing through a section of the sea supposedly haunted by a ghost ship. The ghost ship appears and abducts Tetra. Link tries to go after her and falls overboard, waking up on Merkei Island to the sight of a fairy named Sela. She takes Link to the old man named Oshus and tells him about what has happened. He warns Link not to go up the ghost ship, but Link takes a sword from a storage shed and gets started on his quest. He meets up with a sailor named Linebeck, who is also after the ghost ship, but he wants it for its treasure. He lets Link join him since he is not after the treasure. After rescuing two spirits who serve the Ocean King and learning that Sela is the third, they go after the ghost ship. In it, Link defeats the four Cubis sisters and finds Tetra, seeing that she has turned to stone. Oshus appears and reveals that he is the Ocean King, which most of us probably figured out long before this point, and he reveals that Tetra's really strong life force came under the attention of the game's villain, a giant squid named Bellum. After this, Link collects 3 special metals to forge a special blade called the Phantom Blade, and goes to the Temple of the Ocean King one last time. Only this time you can finally kill those annoying phantoms. There are no words for how satisfying that is. Link then confronts Bellum, and after he possesses the ghost ship and then Linebeck, Link slays him and restores Tetra to normal, before they are returned to their world, where they are told that they were only gone for about 10 minutes, hinting that the game was either a dream or in another world. Though being in another world is more likely because Link still has the Phantom Hourglass and he sees Linebeck sailing away. Spirit Tracks, a distant sequel to Phantom Hourglass, was released on the DS in 2009 and uses the same engine as its predecessor, improving on that game in a few ways, most notably with its central dungeon, the Tower of Spirits. Now, I'm sure a lot of you remember how annoying the Temple of the Ocean King was in the previous game, since you had to clear that sections you already completed many times. It seems that Nintendo does listen to criticism, however, because in Spirit Tracks, a stairway does let you skip already completed sections. The only thing this game did not really improve on was the use of the microphone, which you use to play the Spirit Flute at multiple points in the game. Though this is probably one to pin more on the hardware than the game itself. Spirit Tracks does two things that are drastically different than from other Zelda games. One is that you travel everywhere by train, making the game more linear than most Zeldas. Well, aside from the stage selection in the Four Swords games. The train also seems to be a little too modern for Zelda, which is usually considered medieval fantasy, but let's not forget that few Zelda games have cameras, which are invented in the form we know today after the steam locomotive, and those are in a lot of older Zelda games. And the Zelda games have always been a hodgepodge of eras of technology anyway. Spirit Tracks also has an interesting companion character in the form of Princess Zelda. Her spirit is separated from her body near the beginning of the game, and she accompanies Link throughout the adventure. She can even possess phantoms and tower spirits, which you can then control. Yes, Zelda's name is always in the title, but after over 20 years she was finally made playable in a real Zelda game. This is one of the most underrated Zelda games to me, and one that I really enjoy, mostly because it combines two of my interests, Zelda and trains. The plot takes place a century after Phantom Hourglass in a new land that Link and Tetra discovered that they named Hyrule in honor of the Kingdom of Old, a country that already had an evil of its own named Malus that was sealed away at some point prior to the arrival of Tetra and the pirates. Link lives with an old man named Nika who tells him some of his stories. Nika is an interesting character since this is the same Nika who appears in the Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass, making him about 110 years old, give or take a few years, and one of the few mortal characters to meet multiple Links. This Link is an apprentice train engineer and goes to Hyrule Castle where Princess Zelda makes him an official engineer and asks him for help since she doesn't trust Chancellor Cole. So they sneak out of the castle, but on the way to the Tower of Spirits, they're ambushed by Cole, revealing himself as the villain of the game and his assistant Bryn. They separate Zelda's spirit from her body since they need to use her body to resurrect Cole's master, Malladus. She accompanies Link as he has a special train given to them by Anjean, an old friend of Zelda's ancestor Tetra, as well as a member of the Locomo tribe that watches over mankind, to travel to the four regions of the land and reconnect the spirit tracks that bind Malladus' spirit with the help of the other Locomos. After doing that, Link gets the Locomo sword and uses it to go after Malladus and Cole, restoring Zelda to her body. Malladus possesses Cole, and Link and Zelda team up to stop Malladus, killing him by driving the Locomo sword through his skull. Now doesn't that sound familiar? The Locomo then leave the mortal world and trust the land to Link and Zelda, saying that mankind no longer needs protection of Locomo or spirits, and that they'll thrive even without them. And I'm sure it doesn't help that the two major evils, Ganon and Malladus, are dead. Not to mention it fits with the Wind Waker's theme of letting go of the past. The games in the Wind Waker Trilogy, specifically the two DS entries, are new enough that the original games are playable on current-gen systems. However, all three of them have been re-released. The Wind Waker was remade for the Wii U as Wind Waker HD, but since I don't have a Wii U, I sadly never got a chance to play this remake. Regardless, I highly recommend playing the Wind Waker on either the GameCube or Wii U, whichever is more accessible to you. You're still getting an excellent game that, in my opinion, is the highest point Zelda has reached so far. Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks are both playable on the 3DS, so if you never played them, try tracking them down. They're also available on the Wii U Virtual Console, so if you have a Wii U, you can get them there. I recommend playing them at the very least. Outside of the gimmicky stuff related to the DS hardware, there are two fun games underneath. Great! You survived all the way to the end! I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like and click that subscribe button in the corner to stay up to date with the latest videos. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with the latest on videos and other projects. While you're at it, here are some other videos you might enjoy. Until next time.